Assalamu alaikum. This is lecture number 25 of Pakistan Studies. The topic that we are going to discuss today is natural resources and agriculture. We will focus on two sets of issues. One, natural resources, and under natural resources, we'll talk about mineral resources, water or river, canals, then forest and animal resources. Then the second part will deal with agriculture and agriculture-related issues. We take up the first part, that is the natural resources. This means the resources the nature gives to a country or to people. And in this category, we can talk about mineral resources, we can talk about water, because water is a very important resource. River, canal, which are channels for water. We can talk about forest, we can talk about animal resources. These are something which nature has given to people. And natural resources are extremely important for prosperity and development of a country. But simply having natural resources is not sufficient. You should be in a position to make use of those natural resources. Therefore, human effort is very important for making use of what nature has given to a country or to a people. So there has to be an effective use of those resources. And human effort holds key to that. You must have technology, you must have knowledge to explore the natural resources. I give you an example to explain. Oil or other mineral resources have to be excavated, have to be brought out of ground and earth. If you don't have knowledge, if you don't have technology, even if the land you are living in has all the mineral resources, has oil, has gas, you can't really make use of that unless you have knowledge and technology to benefit from it. Therefore, whenever we talk of natural resources, we also talk of technology, we also talk of science, we also talk of human effort. And when these two combine, natural resources with human effort, with modern technology, only then you can use natural resources for the betterment of the people, for the development and prosperity of the country. The first kind of natural resources that we want to discuss here are the mineral resources. The resources that you take out of land, the resources that are buried underground, and then you make effort, use modern knowledge, you use technology to get these resources out of land, and then you make use of it. What I'm going to do here is, I would talk about some important mineral resources to give you an idea of the ones that Pakistan has got. But this does not mean that we are discussing each and every mineral resource that Pakistan has, but some selected and important mineral resources of Pakistan are going to be discussed. I'll talk about the importance of the source, where are those resources located, and this will give you a general idea. The first important source that is discussed here is the iron ore. Iron ore is used for industry, especially for making steel. But we have a limited quantity of iron ore in Pakistan, and there is a problem of quality as well. There is a poor quality. All iron ore is not of excellent quality. And iron ore is to be found in Chatral, Chaghi, Kohat, Kurram Agency, Mardan, Hazara, Mianwali, Kalabagh, and DG Khan. That is where you find the resources that is for iron ore. The next important mineral resource is chrome. Chrome is used in a lot of things, and it is used in making metals and leather, tanning, and making of steel products, which are useful and important for the development of a country. Main asset of chrome is to be found in Zob area, Muslim Bagh area, Chaghi, Malakand, Waziristan, and Fort Sandaman. These are the areas where you find this asset, that is chromite. Next, we will talk about gypsum. Gypsum is used for plaster of Paris, making paints, and also this is used for cement. And main areas where this is found include Jhelum, Mianwali, Dera Ghazi Khan, Kohat, and Loralai, where gypsum is mined. Now coming to sulfur. Sulfur is also an important mineral which is used primarily by chemical industry, and chemical industry uses that for its purposes, and this is found mainly in Kalat, Khairpur, Mardan, and Jacobabad area. The next important mineral that needs to be mentioned here is the coal. Coal is an important source of power, and it also is used as fuel. In fact, coal is used for generating energy, for running industry. Even power generation is done through the use of coal, and therefore coal is very important mineral. However, Pakistan has problem. Pakistan has limited resources of coal, and some of this coal is not of high quality. Coal mines have to be found in different parts of the country. For example, in Sindh, you can find main coal mines in Thatta district, Tharpakar, Menara. Balochistan, you have coal mines in Digri area, Shareg, Soar, Host, Mach and Harnai. You have some coal mines in these areas. Then in Punjab, you also have coal, mainly in Makarwal and Dandoth area. In Northwest Frontier Province, you have coal in Cherat near Nowshera. These are the places where coal is found. But as I have said, the resources of coal are limited, and there is a problem of quality of coal. Other than coal, important mineral asset is oil. Oil is extremely important because, like coal, it is used in industry and it's also used as fuel. In fact, without oil, no country can effectively function in the economic domain. Your industry, your transport, your commercial business is dependent on oil or its byproducts, which are used in day-to-day life. And for oil, Pakistan faces problem. Pakistan's own oil is in such a limited quantity that Pakistan has to import oil from the Gulf states, and then you can meet the needs and requirements for oil and its byproduct. And this becomes a major burden on Pakistan's foreign exchange reserves, which are spent on getting oil from other countries. Within Pakistan, oil is found in Balkasar area, and then you have oil in Chakwal and Dhodak areas. There are some other areas also, but these are the main areas from where you get oil. The next important mineral resource is gas. Gas is used for industry, for generating power, for running industry, and gas is also used as fuel and is also used in transport. Pakistan has reasonable assets of gas and is using gas both for industrial, commercial, and domestic purposes. Gas is to be found in a couple of places in Pakistan. In case of gas, the biggest reserves are to be found in Sui, which is in Balochistan. Then other places where gas is found are Mari, Uch, Khairpur, Jaikwabad. Recently, there have been discoveries in other parts of Pakistan, in certain parts in the frontier province, in Sindh, and also in Punjab. There have been some discoveries, but more work will have to be done to make full use of the natural gift that is with Pakistan. In order to meet with the requirement of gas, which is going to increase over time as Pakistan industrializes, as transport shifts from other sources of power to gas, Pakistan would need more gas resources. So there are plans of gas pipelines from the neighboring countries. In fact, currently there is one plan to bring gas from Turkmenistan, which is Central Asian states, from Turkmenistan to Afghanistan and to Pakistan. This is one plan. The other plan under consideration is a gas pipeline from Iran to Pakistan, and that it goes into India. The third plan is from Qatar, Gulf state, Qatar, from there to Pakistan. These are in the planning stages, and that will take time before anything materializes. And this is being done basically to meet with the growing demand. Side by side, the government of Pakistan is also paying attention to locate gas reserves in different parts of Pakistan, and the same is the case with oil. Many international groups, companies have been given contracts to explore different parts of Pakistan, to locate oil and gas reserves. And if these efforts succeed, that is exploration of oil and gas, Pakistan will be able to be self-sufficient to a great extent for these two things. And if Pakistan becomes self-sufficient to a great extent, this would be a strength to Pakistani economy, and this will give and ensure greater economic stability. But we'll have to wait and see how much success we get from these efforts which are there to explore gas and oil reserves in different parts of Pakistan. In addition to that, I can also mention about an important mineral resource, that is uranium. Uranium has defense-related use. It is also used for atomic power generation. Pakistan has some reserves of uranium, and these uranium reserves are to be found in Dera Ghazi Khan, Hazara, and Kohat. I may mention here that the natural uranium, the uranium that you get from ground, is then worked on, and the scientists and technocrats have to improve its quality, and only then you can use it for all those purposes, defense-related purposes, for atomic energy generation. This has to be enriched, and only then that can be used. So we can say that Pakistan has some reserves of natural uranium. The discussion of mineral resources was meant to give you a general idea of the mineral resources that are there with Pakistan. There are other mineral resources, but we have discussed only the leading one or the important one. And what we get out of this discussion is that the nature has endowed Pakistan with some important resources, and their exploitation depends on the use of technology. Pakistan has made use of its own technology and also got the support from outside to explore different areas to get these natural resources and their reserves. And with the passage of time, this is likely to improve. Now we talk about another kind of natural resource, that is rivers, canal, or you could say water. What is the importance of water? And that is reflected in the form of rivers, canals, and rains, which is there. Water is an important resource because human life depends on water directly as well as indirectly. Directly, because we all need to consume water. Indirectly, that is, the whole environment around us also depends on water. For example, agriculture. If you don't have water, you don't have agriculture. Forests, greenery, and the life is all there because water is available. Therefore, when we talk of economy of a country, economic development or agriculture of a country, we have to examine the water resources. In this case, in the case of Pakistan, we talk about rivers, we talk about canals. In Pakistan, the river system is Indus and other rivers like Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Satluj, and then you also have small, rather unknown rivers in different parts of Pakistan, but basically Pakistan's agriculture depends on the main river system that revolves around the Indus. And we have talked in the earlier lecture, lecture number 24, that Indus Plains are the main agricultural fields of Pakistan. Main agricultural products grow in what is known as the Indus Plains. And therefore, Indus and other rivers which I have mentioned are crucial to the agricultural life of Pakistan. Then you have the canal systems. Canals have been taken out from rivers which take water far away, and this canal system goes back to the British time. The British began to construct canals from rivers in Punjab and also in certain parts of Sindh. And then in 1960, Indus Water Treaty or Indus Basin Treaty was signed between India and Pakistan. This treaty was meant to manage the distribution and flow of water between India and Pakistan. We don't have to discuss the Indus Water Treaty in detail here, but a reference to Indus Water Treaty becomes important because it has to do with construction of canals in Pakistan. As a part of the arrangement under the Indus Water Treaty, new canals were constructed for transferring waters from the upper rivers to the lower rivers in Pakistan. Pakistan depends to a great extent on these rivers and canals for agriculture. Certain parts of Pakistan depend on rainfall for agriculture, but that becomes unreliable. But most of our agriculture depends on rivers and the canals that we have. With the passage of time, tube wells have also been installed. Tube wells are another way, another method through which water is obtained for agriculture and other purposes. But the dominant role is that of rivers and the canal system. For water, the key is the effective use of this resource. You may have rivers, you may have canals or other water resources. The key is its proper and effective use. That water is not wasted and water is supplied where it is actually needed. Therefore, how you manage your water resources, how you manage your rivers, how you handle your canals is key to the success of water management and water resource. You have to conserve water. You have to preserve water, and this is important because sometimes you have too much of water and sometimes too less of water. In rainy seasons, especially if there is a rain in the mountain area or the sources from where Pakistani rivers are coming, there is too much of water. Too much of water means flood. And floods cause a lot of devastation. On the other hand, if there is a shortage of water, too little water, suppose there hasn't been rain on the sources of rivers, it's the summertime, there is no rain or less rain. If you have shortage of water, then again your agriculture will suffer. And if agriculture suffers, the whole nation suffers. Therefore, there is a problem on both sides. Too much of water, too little of water causes problems. So how do you deal with this problem? Problem of too much of water, too little or less of water. That is what is called water management. So you build storage. Dams. We hear about dams in Pakistan. Mangla Dam, Tarbela Dam, and so many other dams. These dams perform a couple of functions for water management. You create storage of water. You store water when it comes in a large quantity. And you start releasing water from dams when there is a shortage. When there is less rain, you need more water, but there is less water. So you release water from these dams. So you got to have those reservoirs, those dams, so that you can effectively use water. Water is also used for power generation. In fact, if you have effective and good number of water dams, then you can generate power. And power or electricity, to use common man's term, electricity, which we use in our daily life, is cheapest when you use water for its generation. However, electricity generation from the use of water resource involves a lot of investment. You have to have dams built, and then a total generation system has to be installed, and then you generate power. But it is cheaper. But for that you will need water management. So water is also a power source that you can generate electricity through water. So it is important that when we are talking of water, we take into account what are the needs of agriculture. Because in Pakistan, most agriculture depends on water from the rivers and canal system. Another point which is important here is that water which is in canals or in rivers must reach all the areas where it is needed, which means that the canals and water channels which you construct must be available to transfer water and to supply water. You must have heard that every year the government of Pakistan engages in what is known in ordinary language as bhal safai. Bhal safai is an exercise which is done by the government to remove sand and other material that lands on the base of these canals, so that canals and water channels stay deep and water flows quickly to the areas where you want to take that. So cleaning of canals and water channels, or what is called bhal safai in ordinary language, is very important for water management and also for avoidance of wastage of water. There is a problem in this connection, especially in the areas where water is short. For example, in certain parts of Balochistan, there is a shortage of water. And their conservation of water is extremely important. How do you conserve water? And so you build water channels in a manner that high temperature does not lead to too much evaporation of water. So I would conclude this section by saying that yes, water is important. Water is in fact crucial for economic life. But again, these natural resources, rivers, canals, rains, fountains, mountain fountains, you can utilize these if you can make use of these resources in a right and effective manner. Another important natural resource is forest, jangalat. Generally, the scientists and agriculturalists say that the ideal situation is that 25% of territory of a country should be covered by forests. There should be forests at least on 25% of territory. But not many countries reach up to this level. In case of Pakistan, 4 to 5% of its territory is covered by forests, which means that it is quite low as compared with the ideal. Ideal is 1/4, 25%. But we have 4 to 5% of land covered with forests of various kinds. The reason why you have such a limited amount of forestry in Pakistan is that certain areas are not really suitable for forests. This may be dry land, highly mountains which are dry. If there are mountains with water, green mountains, then you have forests there. But you can have dry mountains, like you have dry mountains in Balochistan and certain other parts of Pakistan. Shortage of water is a factor adversely affecting the development of forest. Shortage of rain or no rain also has negative implications for forest. Forests are important source of wealth for a country. Forests play an important role because they improve weather conditions, they moderate the climate, and protect against strong thunderstorms or windstorms. Similarly, if there are forests on the mountains, then melting of snow is slow and water goes down slowly rather than at a rapid pace. With forests, you have greenery, you have natural beauty, you have animals and birds of different kinds, and this all facilitates human life. Forests also are useful for human use. For example, for construction building, wood is used and wood comes from forests. And you can also earn foreign exchange if you have quality forests and you have quality wood, which could be sent outside. However, I may mention here that sometime the commercial consideration, that is, you're using forest wood for construction purposes or for other purposes, dominates so much that you don't plan and you cut the forests without any planning. And this adversely affects forests in the long run. If you are cutting forests for use of wood, for construction or for commercial purposes or for fuel, you must also plant new trees. A replacement has to be there. And if it is not planned, then in the long run you lose forests. Another important natural resource are animals. We sometimes don't realize their importance in our lives and also in the lives of the societies and the country. Animals are important for meat, milk, hide, skin, leather industry. Animals are also used for transport purposes. Animals are important natural resource that has to be developed. It is important because we use them in agriculture. If we go around in Pakistan, go to your rural areas, and we will find that there is ample use of different kind of animals for agriculture, for transport purposes, and there are so many other uses of animal for human benefit and for human life. Animals can also be source of foreign exchange. You do export, for example, dairy products. You can also export leather products, and even animals are sometimes exported. If you produce good quality, let's say buffaloes, cows, even goats, these are also exported, and in this way they become an important item in your international trade. However, this can only be developed with lot of attention and human effort. As I said in the beginning, that natural resources can be utilized for the benefit of humanity only if you make their proper use. So far as animal resource is concerned, there you have to pay attention for raising animals of different kind, and also animals suffer from different diseases, from different problems, and you have to take care of that. The government is running a lot of projects for encouraging animals and their growth, and also to make use of this resource. In addition to government, even the military has various forms where animals are raised and then milk and the other dairy products are sold. In urban areas, we get milk in Tetra packings, and all this milk comes from different animals which are meant for that purpose. Therefore, animal resources have to be carefully cultivated, carefully developed, and only then we can make use of it. Now I move on to the second important part, which is the last part of my lecture, that is focus on agriculture. How this is important and why this is important, and why should we pay attention to agriculture. Pakistan is an agricultural country which depends to a great extent on this field. 70% of Pakistan's population lives in rural areas, and over 50% of Pakistan's population is dependent either on agriculture or on agro-based professions. That is, professions and economic activity which is directly or indirectly related to agriculture forms or agriculture products. That is, these are called agro-based professions or agro-based industry. And over 50% of Pakistan's population is in one way or the other involved with these kind of professions or activity. Agriculture's share to Pakistan's GDP is about 26%, which makes it a significant part of Pakistan's GDP, that is gross domestic product. In case of Pakistan, the main agricultural areas are the Indus Plains in Punjab, in Sindh, and in frontier and Balochistan you have agriculture, but primarily, mainly, it is the Indus Plains. There you have most agriculture, and different things are produced in these areas. Agriculture holds key to Pakistan's economic development, and there are two major crops which we have in Pakistan. One is the Rabi crop, which is sown in October, and then produce is obtained in April, May. And some of the leading example of the Rabi crop include wheat, gram, oil seeds. So that's one kind of crop that we have. The other is called the Kharif crop, and Kharif is sown in May and June, and produce is obtained in October and November. The leading examples of Kharif include rice, sugar, cane, from which we make sugar, and cotton. These are the leading kind of crops of this period. And the main crops are wheat, rice, cotton, sugarcane, gram, maize, mustard, tobacco, oil seeds, fruits and vegetables. These are the main crops in Pakistan. In Pakistan, land reforms were introduced on 3 occasions: 1959, 1972, and 1977. The basic objective of these reforms was to reduce the size of individual holding, to provide greater facilities to tenants, to those who till the land, and to strengthen inputs and improve inputs to agriculture. And in this way, the effort was to increase the agriculture output. One problem that we face in Pakistan for agriculture is that per acre yield is relatively low. It can be increased because generally people are using outdated methods of agriculture. This is not to say that modern technology is not being used. Modern technology is being used in Pakistan, but you have large areas where we use outdated methods of farming. Then I think there is a problem of water. Water has to be available in right quantity at the right time. You can also talk about the problem of inputs, seeds, fertilizers, and also support to deal with diseases and problems which crops face from time to time. The government is paying attention to the improvement of agriculture because agriculture holds key to Pakistan's economy. This concludes our discussion of natural resources and agriculture. Both are important for Pakistan's economy and development. Thank you. Khuda Hafiz. Until the next lecture.